The cool thing is, Matt, you didn't have to go there to get the boxes to happen.
Right.
It's always a
All
pleasant surprise. All right.
All right, at 6:30, we'll get started. This week's code item of the week is maintain cleanliness and condition of vehicles and equipment, Mr. Dow.
Yeah, let's take care of our stuff because because nowadays it is all our stuff because being employee owned puts a different light on all the way we take, hopefully the way we take care of all our tools and equipment, which is going to lead into what you're talking about this morning.
All right, safety news. We have 7 days without a recordable injury, 11 days without a first aid injury, and 2 days without a vehicle incident. We had those numbers up quite a bit for a while, and we've been struggling to get them into the double digits lately. So let's work on that. This week, we're going to talk about job site security and theft prevention. Why we're here, we suffer thousands and thousands of dollars in losses every year from theft, vandalism, all that sort of stuff. Memorial Day weekend and 4th of July weekend are historically our worst weekends for this. So we really want to make sure tonight that we're locking up everything tight, and we'll go into some more stuff after this. But with it being employee owned, everything that gets stolen comes out of our retirements, right? So we really want to make sure we're locking everything up tight. So a lot of this stuff is just common sense, but it's a good reminder. You want to lock your vehicle, lock up your toolboxes. You know, some of them don't lock up very well anymore, so you might have to take and clean out your locks, put a little bit of graphite in them to get them to work. Don't leave valuables in plain sight, and contact the shop if you need any toolboxes or tonneau covers or anything to better secure the stuff that you have to keep in your truck. You want to park near lights and security cameras when possible. Another thing that Chico sent out an email about this week was if you have a GPS in your trailer or anything, make sure that you're plugging a truck into it for an hour or two just to charge it up. So that way we can track it if it gets stolen. Some more tips for prevention. You want to block your trailers and Connex boxes with equipment when possible. That's a big one, especially for this weekend. Kind of line up your equipment. And normally we try to line it up to look nice, right? But on these weekends in particular, you want to line them up so that way you're really blocking in your trailers and everything like that, so nothing gets stolen. You want to ensure that you have the proper locks for trailers and Connex boxes. We have the 383s, and then a lot of you guys have your tech locks, which I think are much more secure just because they're harder to cut, right? You want to take steps to prevent theft of an entire trailer. So you want to put either chain up the pintle hitch, or you want to put one of those pre-made pucks into it, right? And you want to avoid the use of hide keys. So you want to use lock boxes if the need exists. You don't want to just hide a key somewhere in your battery box or wherever, because we've had keys stolen from those. And then once they steal the key, then they get into the trailer, and then a lot of times they keep the key. And some other tips and tricks. If you want a security camera for your site, reach out to Matt or myself. I don't think we'd be able to get you one for this weekend, but we can get you one going forward. If you see something that seems odd, say something. And just because you're off the beaten path or in a low crime area doesn't mean that theft won't happen. We have some guys that live well off the beaten path that have gotten chainsaws and stuff like that stolen out of their trucks. So be mindful of that. Don't leave out tools that could help a thief in their endeavors. So don't leave out a chop saw that somebody could use to cut into your trailer, right? That could be a problem. You want to report thefts immediately, and you want to assign workers to specific tasks. So it'd be awesome if, later on today you say, guy number one, your responsibility is to go through and lock everything. And guy number two, your responsibility is to go through half an hour later and go make sure that everything is in fact locked and secured. The more people that you have directly responsible for certain tasks, the more you're going to get done when it comes to securing your sites. Historically, worst places for theft are the Swanton Highgate area and Burlington. So I'm going to stop sharing and kick it over.
Okay.
Does anybody have anything to add on that?
Secure it these weekends, these long weekends, we always have some surprises on Tuesday morning. People get that extra day to get out and steal stuff from us. Is my screen sharing? It's on?
Yep. We can see you.
Okay. Just switching my camera. Hold on. All right. So let's get down to the announcements. All right, the holiday is Monday. We are officially closed on Monday. And I put a reminder in here for Monday's time. It's job 14, cost code OH14, and earn code is holiday. And we all put in 8 hours of holiday pay for Monday to get paid for the holiday. We have a request from payroll that we get at least get our time entered by first thing Tuesday morning. That way people can get their approvals done and we can run payroll. A lot of times if we don't get the time in, we can't approve it, and then they can't import it. They have to import it from mobile. So try to get all our time in this week. We'll put in today at the end of the day if we can, and then that way when they get in here Tuesday, they can do an import sooner rather than later so that we can run the payroll, because they have one less day to do it. They always get it done, but it's good to be respectful of them and try to get it done on these holiday weekends efficiently. On the 6th, we've got Morgan Stanley coming in again. The person that comes in, her name is Laura Strela, and if any of you would like to have her information, give me a call or give Melanie a call. I got a card that I can take a photo of and text it to you. If you can't make it to the meeting on the 6th, or if you want to schedule another time, you can call Laura. She knows who you all are, and she'll either make a trip or do a Zoom meeting, or any of us can run up to their office. It's up on Water Tower Hill in Colchester. They're they respond very well to special meetings if needed. So I know a lot of you have a hard time getting in on those Fridays if you're busy on your jobs. I left a couple of the announcements on the bottom of this in case you need info on it. That Employee Navigator account, if you haven't done it, I've got Erin's information on there. We're going to announce another ESOP meeting here pretty soon. Hopefully you're giving feedback to Erin so that she can schedule our next one. And a reminder for everyone that's on the health insurance that we're still in the health holiday, the healthcare premium holiday, where we don't have any premiums taken out of our checks. So that's good. Memorial Day being Monday, I got a picture of Kevin. It's hard to believe it was 2004, so it's been a few years. Kevin was he worked here for several years. He was our CAD person. He ran the CAD machine and did a lot of our drawings and printed out our drawings, but he also was a project engineer aspiring to be a project manager. He built, one of the things that he built was the Milton Park and Ride. If you know where that is, above exit 17 on Route 7. He built that, put that together. We all helped him out. He was proud of that. The other thing, if you've been through Five Corners, you know the big fountain and the huge memorial. Kevin, ironically, did a lot of the design work. He did all the CAD work. ECI donated a lot of that work for that memorial, and Kevin was the one that actually did all the CAD drawings for the foundations to support the monuments. And a couple of years after we built it, he was honored on Memorial Day of 2005 by everyone because he lost his life on May 25th, 2004 as a part of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Some of you guys don't remember that one, but it was in the early 2000s. He was in the Guard. I think he'd been in the Guard for like almost 12 years, and they got called out, and he left. I think it was in January, and they were over. They were conducting and escorting uh, Iraqi prisoners, and he got taken out by mortar, which was a really sad day for all of us. He was always harassing people around here in a fun way. He had an old school sense of humor. Many of us knew him. Todd Nelson went to college with him, and I hear that back in those days, he used to get into Todd's refrigerator. I don't know what he kept in there, but Kevin used to raid his refrigerator. We're gonna miss him. I do have a flag if anybody wants to see it. It's in my office. This flag was the one that was flown over. I have a certification too, that if anybody wants to see that, it was flown over the skies of Iraq on a combat mission by the Vermont Air National Guard in an F-16C Fighting Falcon that we used to have before the F-35s. And they actually specified that this flag was flown on a combat mission in the Lethal Lady, which was one of our F-16s that we had at the time. And they gave us a certification. Lieutenant Colonel Jackman presented it to us in July or late July or August of 2005. And this mission was on July 31st, actually. So I think it was in the fall that we get this. It was pretty cool that they did that. So think about Kevin. Think about the ECI family. We miss him. He loved joking around and having fun, but he also was very serious about his work, and he exemplified our code of conduct. So that's why you'll see little remembrances of Kevin around here. We got some new employees. We've got Luke Valentine. He's going to be working with the traffic and possibly the rail signals and an electrical group. So Luke, good to have you here. We got Derek Pogney, operating foreman in the civil group. Welcome, Derek. And we have, let's see. Oh yeah, Tyler Harrington resembles Brian Harrington a little bit. I don't know why. Must be there's a little relation there. And look at this guy. He's back. He came back. Tyler Jewett is back. I think we tried to put him back in college to learn some more stuff, and he came back and he looks pretty confident right there. So welcome back, Tyler. You got your own little spot, returning ECI employee. So that's kind of cool to keep adding good people to our company. We've got the ECI Focus of the Week by Eric Welcome. And if you'd like, Eric, if you want, I'll drive it for you if you want.
Yeah, that would be great. But one thing I just wanted to say before I got into this project of the week was my roommate first year at VTC, Jamie Gray, he was killed in action over in Iraq on June 7th, 2004.
Oh, yeah.
So by a IED. And It's very important. This is a big holiday. I know I stress to my kids the importance of it, and it's nice to hear how Kevin worked here and the things that he did here. So, just cool. Something that we should all, think about this weekend for sure is people who have given their lives for our freedom. So,
thank you, Eric.
So yeah, project of the week, Highgate Airport, water and sewer extension. ECI was contracted by the town of Highgate to extend municipal water and sewer to the Highgate Airport. The project consists of installing 7,000 linear feet of 8-inch C900 PVC water main, 2,000 linear feet of 8-inch SDR 35 gravity sewer, 8,100 linear feet of 4-inch HDPE sewer force main, water and sewer service stubs, a water booster pump station, and a sewer pump station. 6,800 feet. Yeah, it's a lot going on up there. 6,800 feet of the 4-inch sewer force main was installed by horizontal directional drilling, along with 1,800 feet of the 8-inch water main. This has been a multiple division project for ECI. The concrete division installed the foundation for the water booster building. The drilling division performed all the HDD, and the civil division performed all the other work. This project is unique in that the town of Highgate does not have its own water or sewer system. Both the water and sewer system are actually the town of Swanton's. The town of Highgate and V-Trans teamed up on this project as part of V-Trans' plan to create adequate infrastructure to grow the airport. V-Trans contributed $1 million to the project. Once this project is complete, the town of Swanton will actually be operating the systems. The water booster pump building is required because pressure in the water line is not adequate enough for fire flow at the hydrants beyond the booster building. ECI subcontracted with Schenck Enterprise to construct the building and also to install the pumps and controls for the sewer pump station. If you want to scroll down, I created this PDF here. The western portion of the project, a water table was present that ranged from 36 inches to 48 inches below grade. All work was performed with constant dewatering. So in the bottom left-hand side of the picture here is the off-ramp on Swanton. The green line represents the force main and that ran from here. It was drilled in from that off ramp all the way up to the corner of Airport Road, and then all the way down to kind of where the field days was, and then it was trenched in from there. You can see the water booster building in the field by the high school. The water line ran from the high school entrance all the way up to the airport road and then all the way into the airport. It's gravity sewer from basically the airport, inside the airport, to the field days, with the pump station being a low spot, and that sewer's pumped all the way to the existing town gravity main by the exit ramp.
Cool.
So you want to scroll down?
Yep. Oh, here we go. Got some good pictures.
Yeah, so
look at the water.
Yeah, and there's a couple wetlands. This day here, we ended up just calling it just because it was too wet. We ended up waiting a day and putting some pumps in. If you want to scroll down, I think this is the next day. This is the next day after we've pumped and the water's gone down a little bit.
Yep. Wow. Looks like a muck.
Yeah.
There's a good one.
Yeah. Here's Alan. This is what these guys dealt with day in and day out in that area of the project. I mean, it was just wet. So
jeez,
they did a really good job with it.
They go from this, they have to create this. Right?
Exactly. This is out in front of the water booster station.
Is that a Y that they're going into?
The Y, that's the first Y I've ever seen put in a water line.
I've never done a Y in a water line, only a T.
Me either. There was two. There was one on the other side of that too. That was a connection. The top right is towards the high school, so the water's coming down, then going into this Y and going into the booster station. It comes out of the booster station, goes back into the line, and then this straight pipe is the bypass.
Holy cow! 8-inch? Is that 8? It looks like it, right?
Yep.
8-inch duct, C900. Yeah.
Yep. And here's the men up. That's the gate for the airport, and if you can see, we have power in the foreground here, and then we have the box. Behind the box, there's fiber optic, and there's another power line you can't see, and then there's a culvert, and then
yeah, I see the culvert. Jeez.
Just another picture of the water main with a thrust block and a stub for future connections.
Yeah. Oh, you cheated the concrete guys on that one. You just put a block in there. They didn't get to make that.
It's something that's happening more often. Engineers are letting precast blocks be used for thrust blocks, which is it's faster.
Yep.
For sure.
Holy cow. There's your stuff.
Yep, there's Colton was the project engineer up here. He did a really good job, and so did the other men, just keeping everything tidy, and I think this was right before winter. They get everything inside and buttoned up for the shutdown.
There's that Y right there.
Yep.
Hey, an actual good place to dig. Well, except for the utilities, right?
Just couldn't get away from them up by the airport, that's for sure. And all the way down along Airport Road, really. This is the sewer pump station. We were 17 feet deep with this excavation, and with the water table there, the water table was, around 8 feet deep. So we were 8 feet below the water table here. We had to drive sheets in order to get that in. So there's a good picture of that.
So there's some other guys that went up to contribute to that job with that.
Oh, that's true. That's right.
And the sheeting.
I forgot.
We got to do a shout out to those guys, because
yeah, they did a great job.
That would have been a tough one.
I think this job we tested out the new hammer. We ended up buying. We keep scrolling.
Makes it a lot nicer to be able to have that. Oh, there we go, with all the interconnecting pipes
the
that
valve
you have to put between the structures. Oh, more boxes.
Well, this is the sewer, the gravity sewer, and in the gravity sewer 8-inch trench was also the 4-inch force main.
Yep.
That was installed in the same trench as we were trenching. The problem was that the 8-inch SDR is 14 feet long and the 4-inch pipe was 20 feet long. So
Great.
It was challenging, but they did a really good job with it. But lots of times it required multiple boxes.
That's one of the things the engineers never think about, the constructability of some of these. Just a simple thing like that seems simple is complicated. Yeah, let's get in the box in.
And then this crew too, you can see all the utilities in the way. I mean, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
There's a picture of a manhole prepped for setting.
Looks like they got the target marked. What are you guys doing here? That's cool.
Yep, there's a couple auger bores for some sleeves under 78.
Yeah. Cool.
And then this was the most challenging one down at the this is the off ramp.
Oh yeah.
I mean, water table was 3 feet down. We had a sleeve. It was a 220-foot long sleeve that they installed for the 4-inch main to get it underneath the store that's in the background that sells the Shell station. It goes from the east side of that all the way underneath the interstate off ramp to that greenbelt area. So. And then you can see, I just threw this picture in because they needed to put 4 tracing wires in on the.
They pulled them back
to make sure that at least one of them made it through.
They pulled them back with the carrier that's the carrier pipe there, I think. Yep. Through the sleeve, right? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
all the 4-inch. And then, so this is the water line that was drilled in, which traditionally you don't drill in waterline pipe because the HDPE pipe is a total different animal than this C900. The ODs are all different. And they're just not compatible with waterline piping and fittings. But they came out with this pipe. It's a drillable
Wow.
C900. It's got a locking joint, and we got a really good deal from the manufacturer on this. So as far as I know, this is the first time that this pipe's ever been installed in Vermont. So it's pretty neat that, you know, the water system can come in afterwards and dig it up, and they can put fittings and everything on it, and they can just use the traditional ductile iron pipe fitting. So it's neat.
That's good for future repairs and changes. Yeah, for them.
It's good for the drillers. I think with that pipe, it's going to open up another market.
That's cool. And you just
there's the pulling
install
head
it just like we do the PE. It's like a pulling head and everything. Huh.
And here's the water booster station foundation excavation. And as you can see, water table pumps running all the time.
Yep.
Footings.
The safety guys like this one, I think, because we actually have the rebar caps on every single, except for maybe one. No, they're all there. That's cool. There's their footing, and then they've got, did you guys core the wall to put those pipes in? That's just cored in after? Yep.
Sleeves.
Looks like this was maybe last fall.
Yeah, I think it was in October, November.
Yep. Got it covered. Oh.
And this is the building done now.
Nice. Looks
the
good.
Booster skid is coming next week. It's being delivered. There's some pictures inside. That housekeeping pad is where the booster skid's gonna be installed.
Nicely done. Nice little utility building.
It is, and this is a picture of the generator in the back.
Holy cow.
Look at all the green grass.
Nice looking. Thank you, Eric. That's a cool project.
It is.
You don't realize how much was involved until you see it all kind of put together. Well, thanks, Eric. Good job, everybody up there, and I also know that the pavers have been probably involved in that one too. I found this in the archives. This is just a photo I wanted to have in the email for everybody, especially those that knew him. This is the last time we saw him is when they were getting deployed, and he's headed out with his gear. So I thought that might be a nice one to have to finish off the show here. Kind of lost my screen, so I'll turn it back over to the safety guys.
All right. Well, we were talking the other day at the safety committee meeting about how many utilities there were in the ground there and how great a job the guys did at avoiding most of them. So kudos to everybody that's been working on that project up there. Have a great day. Have a safe day. If you're watching a group setting, please send over attendance and take a moment this weekend to commemorate Memorial Day and lock up your sites really good tonight.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Have a good holiday and be safe.